Hi everybody, it's JB Quick Coach, and today I want to do a quick little video about the stages of change. A lot of people aren't really familiar with what those are, and we use them a lot in tobacco cessation work to try to identify where the client is at in their readiness to quit so that we can match our services to fit with where the client is at. So then the client just feels like, oh yeah, this coach really knows what she's doing or he's doing. Anyway, I recorded a webinar earlier today and I had some technical difficulties, but we talk a little bit about it in that webinar. I will post it to the private Facebook page, but let's dive in and talk a little bit about the stages of change. And over the next few days, we'll do some videos on some specific coaching strategies that you can use in tobacco cessation. So first of all, there's basically about 7 different stages. First is pre-contemplation. In pre-contemplation, really the client is really unaware that a problem even exists, and they kind of haven't thought about quitting smoking. They have no intention of changing their behavior. So as a coach, your strategy in that area is to ask permission, first of all, to chat about tobacco use. Really, it's just to give information. So just to get them thinking about it a little bit. So you want to provide maybe a handout. You maybe want to talk to them a bit about how they personally would benefit from quitting and offer assistance when they are ready. So it's okay to say, I can tell you're not really ready right now, but when you are, I can definitely help you. The next area is contemplation. So the individual or the client is kind of aware that a problem exists, but they're unsure that they would like to change at this time. They may express how they think and feel about their tobacco use. So they might talk about it a bit and give you some indication, but your role as the coach is to reinforce previous attempts to quit tobacco. Acknowledge ambivalence. So it's acknowledge that it's normal to be unsure about quitting, and to go kind of back and forth. And then you could get them to talk about what they like about smoking and then end the conversation on what they don't like about smoking. So they've left the conversation on the dark side. And it helps them to maybe start thinking about how their smoking is affecting them, what they should be concerned about, and it helps them weigh out the pros and cons to quitting. But it also helps them, if they talk about it a bit, to develop or determine the discrepancies between the way they're acting and their values. Often smoking doesn't fit in with anyone's values. And so it might start the motion of desiring to quit, or to at least start thinking about it, to be a better person health-wise and a better role model, all of those things. Hi, Claudia. I see you've joined me. So the next stage is preparation. And in preparation, individuals have made a commitment to make a change. So they're starting to think about what they might do, what their quit plan would look like. And as a coach, you want to encourage them to maybe set a quit date if they feel comfortable doing that. Start filling out a personalized quit plan, put it in writing, because then they're more likely to succeed. Even think about who will support their plan. Even think about who might sabotage their plan so that they have some things they can put into motion there. There's some documents that are in the training that I provide to you that will help guide your work in this area. You want to provide some information maybe about the drug therapies that are available to help people quit. Now, drug therapies aren't for everyone. They don't make you quit, but what they do is help with cravings and withdrawal. And sometimes those are the 2 biggest reasons people relapse or slip back to smoking. You can maybe review the 4 Ds, which is drink water, deep breathe, delay, and distract yourself. So those are the 4 Ds, 4 things they can do instead of smoking in some situations. You might want to discuss triggers and coping strategies so that they maybe have a good yoga breath, a stress reduction breath, like the 5-5-7 breath, ready to go at times when they're stressed out and wanting to reach for a cigarette. Just of note, there's nothing in a cigarette that actually relieves stress. In fact, the up and down levels of the nicotine in the body can even cause stress. But when people are faced with a stressful situation, they fall back on what they know, right? And for some of them, that's smoking. Now, if somebody's in action stage, they believe they can change and they're actively taking steps to do so. So your role as their coach is to congratulate and offer ongoing assistance and support to help keep them on track, address any challenges, barriers, and assist the person to develop solutions to anything that's in their way from staying on track. And in maintenance is kind of the time when when the person has quit and the next kind of 6 months, basically, where they are staying on track. Now, they might have had slips, but they're avoiding temptations and they're developing new behaviors. They're starting to realize that it can feel really amazing to be tobacco-free. So as a coach, you want to help plan for slip-ups and discuss how to get back on track. You might want to focus on celebrating what's going well for them. It's always great to celebrate the good stuff. Now, the next phase is relapse. And when somebody's in relapse, they might be unable to maintain the changes. So they've maybe been exposed to something that's sabotaged their plan to stay on track. It could be anything, really, and it can happen at any time. For some people, it happens 4 weeks after they quit. For other people, it's a year after they quit. And all of a sudden, they're in a situation where they're lighting up a cigarette. And then they just feel so disappointed in themselves. So as a coach, it's your role to help them think of incidences where self-sabotage might show up and help them to identify what it's going to look like. And then also as a coach to help teach them how to deal with it when it does come up. So what were the circumstances? What was the feeling that you were having? What was the